Hi everyone, this is Melissa and this is my book group discussion video. And the first question I was going to do is, do you think Vance has come to terms with his feelings for his mother, or do you think his feelings for and about her will constantly evolve? And in the book, it sounds like he's come to terms and definitely wants to come to terms, when he's talking about things like the uneasy truce. It really does sound like that, but in my mind, I feel like our feelings for everyone constantly evolve over time, depending on where we are in life and experiences we've had that change our perspective. I know for me, with my mother, I had in the beginning felt the same way Vance did about the uneasy truths, because it was kind of easier to feel that way, to not have to fully acknowledge what a horrible thing had been done. And granted, my mother was way more horrible than Vance's, but it actually wasn't until I started watching Dr. Phil. I don't anymore, but back then when I started watching Dr. Phil, I realized the gravity and magnitude of what she had done, and I then spoke to a therapist about it, and coming to those realizations, it brought up feelings that had never happened before. I became really angry and realizing what she had actually done, and coming to terms with that. So the uneasy truce was no longer possible. She was a monster. And after some years, once I joined like Catholicism, I was talking to a priest about it, and he said, "Yeah, you don't forget what was done to you. You never acknowledge, or you never failed to acknowledge what you've been through and survived, but at the same time, it's good to move past it for your own sake." For your own well-being and others' well-being, and so I had to really think about that, and made the decision just to move on, leave her behind, um just just move on. I don't need that control in my life. I don't need those feelings in my life anymore. So that's all in the past. She's in the past, and I'm good now. I'm not ruled by those emotions anymore. But saying all that is to just provide an example of how, I'm about to be 40 years old, and those feelings and everything are still evolving. It all depends on how you mature, what you're exposed to, the perspectives that change within you. So even though Vance, seems like he's come to terms, he might not be on the same terms in 10, 20 years. Yep. And the second question was, what is the uneasy truce Vance strikes in caring for his mother? And I just mentioned about that he's kind of decided that even though, and he gives this example in the book, that she didn't come to his graduation, and that would be considered pretty terrible to your average kid. I mean, that's hurtful. That's terrible. But in his mind, it's like, well, at least she's not on drugs. She may be messing up here, but at least she's not messing up the way she used to. And so he kind of just accepts it and moves on. So that's his uneasy truce. As far as the general questions, the first thing I thought about was family systems. When we're talking about, our roles and others' roles within the family change and evolve. When we're talking about how Vance, his feelings and everything about her, and his role in her life are evolving even in the book. So that's just a perfect example about how anyone's role in a family can change. When it comes to family stress, I feel like moving on from those feelings and those problems with his mother is needing to let go of that stressor. He doesn't need that source of family stress anymore. It's not helping him, and he's moving on to greater things. That's about it. Thanks.